Firstly, I'd like to start off to set a foundation about myself. I'm 24 years old, currently living with my dad and sister from some unknown virus-related reason. We all sleep upstairs. I have 2 dogs, and I'm not much of a ghost enthusiast, but I very much do believe in them. Sometimes I'll watch a couple spooky or ghost vids on YouTube before bed because I find them interesting. This experience happened last night and 2 other times within the week. So, my bed vibrates my feet at the end of the bed, and so I know someone is walking around the house, depending on the loudness of the stomp or the severity of the vibration. I can typically tell if it's my dad or sister walking around, going up the stairs, and such based on these vibrations. Last night, around 2:30 to 3 a.m., I started feeling these vibrations at my feet. They are very strong and heavy ones. I can feel and hear them walking and pacing in the hallway outside my door. I hear the fast vibrations of it running up and down the stairs. I even freaking feel it, and I hear it come into my room, then leaves. I hear it stepping on the hardwood floors downstairs. This goes on for over an hour to 90 minutes. Just constant vibrations and constant thuds. And then suddenly it stops, and then I finally get to sleep. I try to think logically about what this could be. Could it have been my dogs? My dogs sleep in my room, and my sis dog sleeps in her room. I was also surprised doggy Chloe didn't wake up from the commotion. But then again, she is real old. Could it just be my positioning in my bed? Maybe the box fan I keep on next to my face? I turn the fan off, turn over to a different position, and I still hear the footsteps. Water pipes? The water pipes have a distinct sound, and even through last night, I heard the water pipes and footsteps at the same time. Very different sounds. Could it be my heartbeat? Could the blood flowing to my feet cause a thudding or vibration feeling? I laid up, and they were still there. I've thought of everything. It wasn't my sister or dad, because they go to bed at 9 to 9:30, and most certainly would not be roaming around the house for over an hour. Regular? Nothing was taken, no signs of forced entry. Last night was the 3rd time I've experienced this phenomena, and every time I freak the hell out, especially when this thing goes to my room. I just feel it watching me. I told my dad about it this morning, and after I went through all the logical reasons and how it couldn't be them, it could be the devil playing a trick on you. He's very religious and does not believe in ghosts, but I don't know how he's taking this. If anyone else has experienced something similar to this situation, we could talk and see if either of us have ideas about what it could be. So this story is from when I was probably about 3 to 4 years old, about 13 years ago. Let me just start by saying my whole family believes in ghosts and paranormal stuff, and every single one of my 4 siblings and mom have all had multiple encounters throughout our lives, but this specific one is kinda trippy. At the time, we lived in a pretty good sized house on over an acre of land. We had a go-kart track, all kinds of animals, and a bunch of fun stuff. We had the party house. Now there was parties there all the time. My siblings were 16 to 18 at the time, and they always had people over. We would always host a huge family events and parties, and it would have about 100+ people there. So, me being 4 years old, never really knew the people at the parties, and I was always meeting new people. But there was always this one old man that nobody had ever introduced me to. We had a huge playhouse out back with a swing set, and I would always see him sitting on the same swing. He would always have a big dog with him, like a basset hound. I remember having really big ears. The old man himself probably looked to be in his 70s or so, and he wore gear kind of like he was going fishing, I guess. He wore jeans, a flannel, a tan vest, and a fishing hat, you know, a bucket hat. I can't really remember his face, but I remember him having pretty blue eyes and a big gray mustache. I only ever saw the man when we had parties, which was a weird thing. He was always on the swing and never left it. He would slightly swing back and forth and the dog would just sit straight up at his owner's feet. I never really thought much of it, as I was like 4 years old and I just thought it was my imagination or something. But it was brought up somehow when I was talking with my mom one day. She said when she would wash dishes and look out the kitchen window, which had a completely view of the playhouse and swings, she would sometimes see the old man and his dog sitting on the swing set. She said that one of my older sisters and brother would often see him too, just sitting on the swing. So, by popular request, here's my angry God story. Before I get into this, a warning and disclaimer. I've been told that I shouldn't try and dig too deep into things like this because if you know their name or what they look like, they may get angry. I've also been told that I shouldn't go back to the experience for too long or too often. As such, I won't be answering questions in the comments if they pertain to what I felt or sensed, and I won't be trying to investigate these things like this on my own, so neither should you. I'm going to give you every detail I can to avoid too many unanswered questions, but I don't want to make any waves because whatever it is, it's not very nice. So, it was about a year ago that this happened. I worked at Walmart and I lived about 45 minutes from my store out in the boonies. I still live there, but I don't work at Walmart. One night, I was coming home from work at around 11 p.m. and I finally pulled up to my gate. My house is far from the road and has a long winding driveway that takes you through some trees, but it starts out at a big open spot at the roadside. Just like any other night, I got out of my car to get the gate, but for some reason, the instant I did, I felt my skin crawling like crazy. For some reason, something in the back of my mind was telling me I was being watched. I tried to dismiss it as I unlocked and opened the gate, but then when I got into my car, I felt safe again. But by this point, I was dreading getting back out, but I had to close the gate behind me, so I did. But I looked around at everything, every bit of fence, every bush, every nearby tree, nothing. By this point, I was full on freaking out. Something was watching me. I didn't know what the hell it was. As I finished closing the gate, I got a weird thought that whatever it was above me, which was stupid since above me there was nothing but clear night sky. I could see all the way across the pasture with the moonlight and there was nothing above me. But just to try and quell that doubt, I looked up to see if anything seemed off. For some reason, my eyes were drawn to a certain point in the sky. There was nothing there, not even a constellation, not a plane, nothing. But for some reason, the instant I saw this patch of sky, every alarm bell in my head went off. I looked away from it, but I could still feel whatever it was staring at me from above. The best way I can describe it is that staring at that point in the sky felt the same way as falling into water that you can't see the bottom of. It was huge, only whatever it was, it did not seem happy that I could feel it. I just felt this intense hate emanating from that point in the sky, and every single red flag in my brain was raised as if I was in mortal danger. So I did what any sensible person would do. I got in my car, drove down the driveway, and sprinted into the house where I felt safe again. I don't know if my life was in danger that night, but whatever this thing was, it felt as if God himself was staring me directly in the eyes and he wanted me gone. Thankfully, I haven't felt it since. So yeah, I won't be answering any questions about what I think it was, and after the warnings I've gotten, I don't want to know anymore. Some things are better left unnamed and unseen, and I think this is one of those things. It had been a long day spring cleaning my room. I wasn't done, so all the things I had under my bed were piled up in the corner of my room. I washed my face and I brushed my teeth, as that is my usual night routine, and then I went to bed. I was really tired, and I was looking forward to getting some sleep. While laying in bed, I could feel the presence of someone in my room. I ignored it because it happens all the time. I closed my eyes and tried to sleep, and suddenly I could feel someone slowly laying down beside me. I froze, and then I felt a hand brushing against my leg. Scared to my bones, I jumped up and turned on the light, and guess what? No one was there. Still scared and shocked, I sat down on the bed with my feet on the floor. And just when I finally calmed down, someone grabbed my leg from under the bed and tried to pull me down under. I quickly pulled up my legs and crawled to the corner of my bed. Tears started to fall down my cheeks, and I looked at my phone and texted my brother and mother. I cried until my brother came into my room, and I just knew one thing: I did not want to sleep in my room that night, and from now on I always have a bunch of boxes and other stuff under my bed.